What is up, beautiful people of the world? My name is Josh. Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time here, we're gonna be doing something a little bit different today. Today we're starting a new series, an Instagram series. Usually what I talk about is travel tips, the Japan Rail Pass. Now, if you're going to, I tell stories. So far so good, she has no idea where we're going. About people in my life, about what I'm up to. So if you're interested in that, consider subscribing. Today though, we're gonna be talking about how to crush your Instagram grid. As I'm sure you're aware, Peter McKinnon recently released the pmgridchallenge.
Is that we do the hashtag pmgridchallenge.
It's a challenge to all YouTubers to move their Instagram feed over the next month to a very fall theme. So choosing colors like orange, red, earthy colors, and kind of transferring your current theme into a fall theme to follow the seasons. So I saw Peter release this and I said, I know so many other ways that people can dominate this challenge. I really want to share some of the things I've learned over the last 7 years on Instagram with you guys. So I have 3 tips to help you dominate your grid and 1 tip to help you clean it up if it's already a mess. Tip number 1 is color. Now, this is all about Peter's challenge. It's the color, it's the changing of the tones to a more fall theme. But color can be a great way to create consistency across your grid. It also allows you to show your own personal style, the things that you get drawn to, which colors you prefer. So the best way to do this is to pick a color palette. Pick 3 colors, an aqua, a light blue, a dark blue, or a red, an orange, and a brown. And use those colors as a way to A, take your photos, and B, edit your photos. Color doesn't only have to stop with color choices though. It can have to do with your saturation, desaturating photos, creating tones, increasing contrast to create a very nice mood of photo. Someone who I think does this really, really well is Life with Frazier. He also has a YouTube channel, but I'll show his grid here. You can see he uses amazing blues and he really creates a nice tone and mood with his photos by creating shadows. Another person I think who uses color and light really, really well in a theme is my friend Laura Ray Photography. She is amazing at creating this, I wouldn't want to say overexposed, but she uses light in a way that's extremely bright, that creates a lot of whites. And that is a theme, and it's amazing. So using things like exposure as a way to create theme is also kind of in this category of color. Number 2 is, what are you photographing? So you can make your grid very consistent by choosing the things that you photograph. You can choose to have aerial photos, you can choose to have portraits, pictures of people, you can have pictures of landscape, you can have pictures of cars, you can have pictures of really anything that you enjoy taking photos of, as long as it's a consistent theme. An example of someone who does this really well is my friend Aaron, OBE3. He does all aerial photos, and you can see that his whole grid is aerial photos. And that really helps you understand as a viewer what you're going to get in the future, which makes you understand why you're going to follow this person. The whole idea is to think, as a viewer, why am I going to follow this person? If you're consistent about what you're doing in color, if you're consistent about what you're doing in theme, as far as what you're photographing, people know what to expect, so they're more willing to follow you. Tip number 3 is the banger. This is the best tip I have. It's pattern. So we talked about color and we talked about what you photograph, but if you get bored with always choosing the same colors, or you get bored with always photographing the same thing, this is where tip number 3 comes in, pattern. Okay, so you have 3 squares on top of 3 squares on top of 3 squares. So use that to your advantage. Create a pattern. Patterns is about taking all of the other things and making the grid yours. Here's a good example of an amazing grid that uses color patterns, Carl Shakur. So on the left side, he's using earthy tones, sun, yellows, oranges. In the middle, he's using aquas, waters, things like that. And on the right side, he's using wispy, air tones, kind of this dark shadows. So you can see that he has distinct color patterns in each column. That's one way you can do it. Another good example of this is something that I did, which was I created roads down the center of my entire grid at one point. So I had pictures of roads or pictures of paths or pictures of things that were narrowing the vision, the point of view to the center of my grid. But you can use the center post as a way to direct people's eyes through the center of your grid. Another good example of this is people who do a video every third post. If you're a videographer, throw in a video every third post. Or if you want to utilize the carousel every third post. You can also use things from tip 2 in tip 3. For example, if you want to take portraits, you can do portraits every other photo. You could do landscapes every other photo. You get the idea. Using patterns creates intention. Intention lets the viewer know what it is you want to do, and it lets them decide whether or not they want to continue to view you on a regular basis, aka follow you. My fourth tip is utilize the archive button. So if you go to the right top 3 dots there and go into archive your post, you can actually get rid of posts off your grid that you don't feel comfortable having up there anymore. Maybe it's a picture of your cat, or maybe you put it down and it just really didn't fit your theme and you want to get rid of it. Archive that post and get rid of it off your grid. That's a quick and dirty tip. Just some people don't know that that exists, but make sure that you clean up your grid. Go through and get rid of posts that you just don't want up there anymore. Okay, so that concludes my 4 tips for smashing the PM Grid Challenge. I hope that this kind of expanded your thoughts around how you can create a grid that expresses you. The overarching theme here is just create a grid that is you. Use things that create a succinct and intentional grid. Use photos that create an intentional grid. If you do that, people will know what to expect from you, and if they know what to expect from you, they're more likely to follow you. I'm gonna be doing a small Instagram series to share some of the other things that I've learned about Instagram as I've gone along, talking about engagement, how to use hashtags, all that stuff in the future. So if you enjoyed this, please smash the subscribe button. If you didn't enjoy this and you like my other content, go back, watch some of the other stuff. I'm gonna be doing an update later in the week about why I didn't go to Vid Summit and what's going on in my life, because there's some wicked exciting things going on. And I just always appreciate you guys checking in. Throw a comment down below if you wanna chat or you have any questions about some of the themes I talked about today. And I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. Peace out. Love y'all. Bye-bye. Why is it every time I go to record the lawnmower guy comes? Like, is he even here for me? No, he's not. He's across the way. I feel like they mow their lawn like every other day. Gosh, killing me.